A very cold good morning to everybody from outside Terminal C, where today we are flying from Newark Liberty to San Francisco International Airport on United's transcontinental business class on one of their 787-10s. Our journey today starts at the check-in desk for business class passengers and Premier 1K members. Now, United has several different premium cabin products. They have first class, business class, and Polaris business class. I am flying business class, and that applies to all flights to and from Latin America and certain cross-country flights between Los Angeles and San Francisco and Newark and Boston. And a business class ticket affords club lounge access, and that's where we're gonna go now. The first club we'll be visiting is actually a pop-up United club. It's kind of a temporary setup, and it's not that good. Let's start off by having a look at the right side of the club lounge, where there was just a lot of seating options, typical UA club fashion, but of course, as usual, there's power ports in between every seat, which UA clubs always get right, especially in their redone clubs. I will say this was early morning, so the view was tremendous from the lounge. Over here we had some M&Ms on the right side along with some pretzels and some more seating as we walk through to the lounge to the other side. Now this is the main room of the lounge where pretty much everything else is. You have more seating options and it was starting to fill up as we had just reached the morning. And these were some high tables over here where I had pretty much set up camp for the time that I was in the lounge. And on the right side, there were some spectacular views as the sun was just starting to rise. Seeing the sunrise along with the Manhattan skyline in the back was definitely a nice sight for me and something that I have not seen in over 10 years. And parked right next to us was a beautiful 777-300ER, definitely a nice sight to see. Now let's check out the rest of the lounge. This is where the temporary pop-up club lounges really fall short. The food selection in the lounge is pretty much just all packaged things. Like, for example, over here we had cereal, apples, and some packaged granola. There was no fresh fruits or yogurt like you would see in other club lounges. So it definitely falls short in that aspect, but everything else, as you can see, the power ports are there, plenty of seating, so all those aspects were pretty much met. And again, the lovely 777 along with the views of the morning were definitely something that made this lounge somewhat bearable. But don't worry, a brand new 2-story club is on its way at this location. Now let's check out the only real club here at Newark currently at gate C74. This is quite a big club lounge and spans the entire floor of the second level, as I'll show you. It's basically a giant circle. We start off with some help desks and a lot of seating options in the primary room, along with different kinds of seating all over. We have some departure boards to your left. All along the window was table for 2 seating, which was spread throughout the lounge, and throughout the lounge there was also a lot of office cubicles, as one would expect, and they were quite popular. Some water was also stationed on the right side along with some snacks, as we are a little bit away from the food, so they had some snacks and water set up far away from the food, which I think was great. And some more high top seating to the left, and then another room we enter, same things, just lots of seating and lots of seats and another departure board. Quite an important feature, I feel, especially when the lounge is so large and people are scattered, and therefore to have departure boards in many different parts is good. Now this room is different. This room is where we had a bar, and of course it was incredibly crowded. And there was also some news TVs to watch by the bar, and pretty much replays of a football game from the previous night. Now entering this room, why is it so crowded? This is where all the food is, no wonder. There were quite a lot of selections, especially during lunchtime. During breakfast, there was the typical fruit and yogurt spread, along with some other hot items like oatmeal. But during lunch, there were some cheeses, salads, pita and hummus, soups, typical UA club food. And this brings us back to the start, and therefore that's the entire lounge. It's quite big if you ask me. Just to give you perspective, looking from the center, through the window, all around the center of this thing, all of that is the United Club at gate C74, the whole floor. It's quite big, and even with it being so big, it was quite popular and definitely people everywhere. Now here is the beautiful 787-10 that I'm taking to San Francisco today, parked at gate Charlie 123, which is exactly where my Mumbai flight left from a couple weeks back when I flew. And this is actually my first time flying on the 787-10 variant of the Dreamliner, so definitely excited, though I'm expecting a similar experience to the other 787s. And now before we get on board, I have to say this is my first flight in many years that I am not sitting at a window seat. So I've definitely minimized recording all the unnecessary things. Nevertheless, I still think there's plenty of good things coming your way. So let us get on board and let us make flight.
Please remove the safety card located in your seat. Stow your tray table, food and beverages, carry-on items, headrest, and footballs. Make sure your seat belt is upright and your seatbelt is securely fastened. Please place your personal item under the seat card. At United, we're connecting people. United the galaxy and doing it safely. From all of us, thank you. And enjoy.
separate your recyclables when we come around. Thank you very much.